trauma is not about the thing that happens to you. So here, the trauma that you had was your relationship wasn't safe. You had very loving parents, very present parents, very involved parents who are doing the best they can. But because these patterns had been passed through the generations of lack of safety, that's what you got. You had very loving parents and lack of safety. You were not allowed to be the person that you were. That's the traumatic event right there. So the trauma is suppress your emotions, it's not safe. The traumatic part of it is how you adapt afterwards. You learn to suppress your emotions. You learn to suppress your expression. You suppress who you are. So later in life, you're trying to get rid of all these parts of who you are. That's what trauma is right there. So if you get hit in the head, that's the trauma, right? The concussion is what becomes traumatic, the thing that happens inside of you as a result of what happens. So later in life, we have all these patterns and these dynamics, like not knowing what to do with emotions. Emotions are very big and scary and overwhelming, and they just come bursting out the seams because we've spent our whole lifetime suppressing them. That's the trauma right there, is we adapted to the thing that happened by suppressing our emotions. So now what we want to do is we want to learn how to identify and recognize emotions. We want to learn how to accept when they're here rather than fighting them. We want to learn how to express them in healthy, constructive ways. We want to learn how to process and comfort and soothe these emotions. So when we get injured, and I'm sure as an athlete, you've probably had injuries in your life. When you get injured, you become very stiff and rigid and very painful or very numb, and you lose your range of motion or mobility. And with proper healing, you can stretch and exercise those areas and you can regain the feeling. The thing that was so sensitive and painful can get less painful. You can regain your range of motion. That's what we do with the trauma, is we start to heal it just like an injury. It's an emotional, psychological injury. And where we become very limited and constricted to that one adaptation, we can begin to exercise and stretch it and get more mobile and have a larger range of motion so we can respond to the things that are happening in different ways.